lying, and maybe it's a matter of what you know. And all these people dying, but maybe they were lying, and maybe it's a matter of who you know. We're only sure of one thing, we're not fucking around. We're ripping out your throat so you will make a sound. I just wanna save the world, I just wanna have a voice. I want everybody to know that I never really had a choice. I just wanna save the world, I just wanna have a voice. I want everybody to know that I never really had a choice. So think for yourself.
All right. That's something.
Is that the two-piece band?
That's the two-piece, yeah. Fury and
That's
Few.
cool.
I believe they're from Atlanta, I think.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I love it.
They tour around a lot. I know that. They sleep in their car a lot. They were telling me that those stories. I'm sure you've done that.
Oh yeah, I've done that a time or two. I slept in a van down by the river once on
Really?
tour. I did that, and
That's a story.
And it was in the middle of summer in Louisiana, and of course that's hot as shit.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's roll down the window so we can get some air in here, which was the worst idea ever because we woke up to about 500 mosquitoes in the van with us.
Nice.
That was not a fun way to wake up.
Well, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you on. Taylor Roberts, and you're in Michigan, I assume, right?
Detroit, yes, sir.
Detroit. Was I able to show you my tattoo on my leg when
you did. You did.
It was
the Red Wings.
Yeah, I got that a long time ago, and I'm proud of it. It needs to be finished or something because I never got it finished. It hurt really bad on my calf for some reason. I have my other calf tattooed with West Virginia logo, and it wasn't so bad. But maybe it was the red ink or something. I don't know what it was.
I mean,
it was difficult.
I've got
nice.
That one on my calf, and this one was a son of a bitch.
I don't know.
I don't know what it was. I think it's with all the tendons and stuff in your leg, and like you don't, when you get tattooed right there, obviously, and with any tattoo, your skin is super sensitive, and it was just kind of like I didn't realize how many different working parts were just in that part of the body when you're walking around, and it was just like God bless.
How many tattoos do you have? Do you know? Did you lose count? Right. I know you have several.
So I mean, like some of it's like filler, and some of these are all, I don't know, like maybe 23, 24.
I noticed your bass player at the show. His entire from here up is just black ink.
Yeah,
that's gotta take some time. You would think because that's just fill, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean it's just black ink. Like, I actually have never asked him the story behind that.
Yeah,
I have to figure that out.
Yeah,
Chris, what is your mystery? Tell us.
What does it mean? What's it all mean?
Oh, is that what it is? Wow. So Macy actually knew. It's his... Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna shut up. The blackout tattoo. That's what we know.
That's cool.
So.
It almost looks like a sleeve. Anyway, the show is great. I didn't really know. I knew about Taproot, a long time ago, like everybody did,
Right.
And I didn't really follow them, and so I didn't really know that they took a hiatus. I didn't know any of that stuff, but I did read. I did get on and read about it, and I guess there's only 2 original members, right?
No, there's 3. I'm the only non-original member in Taproot, and what's actually funny is my old band opened for them on the last real 25 dates in a row tour that they did. That's how I got to know them.
So you didn't really know them previously, personally?
I mean, we played a couple shows together. We did a club show in Mobile, Alabama at the Soul Kitchen. I got to hang out with Phil and Steve there. Nick was playing drums for them at the time. And then we ended up doing another show in my hometown of Biloxi, Mississippi, or Gulfport, Mississippi. And I'm pretty actually, yeah, CPR Fest was in Gulfport that year. But Taproot played there as well, and my band got to open. And I walked up next to Phil. I was like, "Hey, man, do you remember me?" And he remembered the band name. He remembered my name, and my
Nice.
jaw kind of dropped because like I grew up listening to those guys on the radio from a very young age, and
Yeah.
I remember watching music videos on MTV and all that good stuff. So, um, you never think that someone you watch as a kid and see on TV is going to remember your name, much less your goofy band name at the time that was
Or
hard to
even be still
pronounce.
together where you can meet him like that, like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
and it was really cool that he had remembered me, and then we hung out that day too. And I was like, man, if you guys ever need support on the road, it'd be fun to come out and do whatever. And he ended up sending me over to their management at the time, and he ended up really liking the band. And next thing you knew, we were on Taproot's management. We were on tour with
Oh yeah.
them, and that's how I really got to know the guys in Taproot and Dave Coughlin, who recorded all the drums. Um, Meg, go come
Puppy.
here, come here. There you go. But basically, that was how I got to know Dave because he was their touring drummer at the time. So in that tour, I really hung out with them a lot and got to know them really well. Ended up on stage with Phil and Dave at an after party, actually right outside of Atlanta. Um, and so, there was a cool relationship that I got to form with those guys about 10, 11 years ago. But as far as the lineup now, like the I'm the only non-original guy, Jared is back on the drums, Phil on bass, Steve on vocals, and it's really cool to be
How
doing what I'm doing.
how is that? I mean, I assume that they're that obviously you're in the band. So how is that with they're all original members, and then there's you. How is that relationship? How do you feel intimidated by that at all?
No, not anymore. I mean, honestly, I was more intimidated by the fans than I was of Phil, Jared, and Steve because they are the nicest dudes in the entire world. And I did form that good relationship with Phil and Steve and even Mike and obviously Dave. I mean, Dave recorded all the drums on the first Writing with Killers record. So I connected with all those guys immediately. And we just got a thing, and it was funny because about 10 years ago, we had actually discussed me playing guitar for them,
That's
but I
awesome.
was I was still in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's where I'm originally from is Gulfport, and that's where my band was based. And they're all Michigan, and it just didn't seem feasible at the time. And then I ended up here, because of Dave. Because I wanted to write music with him. I wanted to be near him. He had invited me up when Taproot did their two shows at the machine shop, and I stayed with Dave, and I had the best weekend up in Michigan, and I had so much fun. And his wife Mel was amazing. I met a lot of their friends. Met the family. It was a great. It just all felt organic. Nothing feels forced whenever I hang out with those guys, and especially when I first met them. So I was more worried about fans,
Yeah.
because this is a special band. This, you know, um, I know in my own personal experience, I experienced every, emotion on the spectrum listening to Taproot's music growing up. And
Yeah.
I know other people are the same way. And I mean, dude, we had people fly in from all over the world for the shows that we were doing last year, from
Yeah.
Poland, from Germany, and you know, I forget, there was one other guy. I think there was even a guy from Russia that flew over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's
that's
crazy. Yeah.
special. That's very special, and that's because Taproot's a very special band. And I wanted to do the songs justice and do right by the guys and by the fans, and it's been really cool. Like everyone's been really welcoming, but like if I had any fear, it was of disappointing the people that were excited about Taproot getting back out on the road, because like it would suck to see one of your favorite bands and then you're like, oh man, like three of them were great, but the one guy sucked. So
It
um
reminds me, I on my 250th or my 200th show actually, over the summer, last summer, I had the newest guitar player of Power Man 5000, Dan Skiz, on the show. So that was a cool
hell yeah.
conversation. Oh, hey, my buddy just joined, the one that
Oh,
wants
sweet.
to meet you. Let's get him in here, and you know this guy, don't you? Does that
By
did
the
that?
way, thanks for the sign in the back. That's
Oh
fucking
yeah, I do
sweet.
that for
I
every show,
love
but that's
that.
a
That's
set list
really
you guys sign.
cool.
This guy here is a huge fan of Taproot.
Hell yeah.
Do you know this guy? Can you see him?
I can't see
You,
anybody.
you can't see him. Okay, I can see you. Anyway, it's Jonathan Joseph from Guides.
Oh, well, hey,
What the fuck's
buddy.
up, dude?
This was our little surprise for you. I asked him if he wanted to co-host the show with me,
Oh,
since
that's awesome.
he's a Taproot super fan, and I said, this would be good if you could help me out on this show a little bit. And I said, do you want to make this a surprise, or you want me just And he goes, no, let's definitely surprise him.
That's
So that
awesome.
was the
I
story.
What up,
told you I
John?
had a
How are you,
surprise for
bro?
you. I told you I had a
There you
surprise
are.
for you.
Now
I
he can
see
see you.
now. Oh,
Hey,
it's going back and forth.
Yeah, it
Yay.
switches back and forth with whoever's talking
Uh,
when you're on your phone. Yeah.
dude,
Anyway, yeah.
how
So
are
that was
you,
our little
bro?
surprise for you.
I'm
Oh, thank
awesome,
you, man.
man.
That's awesome.
I'm awesome, dude. I was like, when Scott asked me to do this, I was like, you have no idea what the fuck you're getting yourself into now. Like,
Dude, we had the craziest, most fun night, and it was crazy. And it's funny because you know, Jonathan has been coming to a bunch of shows, and I've slowly been meeting people, but they obviously the guys have more concrete relationships with other people that they've met time and time before. And like John and Laney and Darren and I would always be like, oh hey, we were excited to see each other. We would sit and talk, but we never really got like one-on-one time together. And then when we went out to the Pittsburgh show and we stayed the night out there, the room that John's in right now, I was like, wait, like Joker everywhere, music. Okay, like this seems like it would be my room. And like we fucking
yeah,
stayed up
especially,
till 5 in the morning just talking and hanging out. And I was like, dude, I haven't done this in years. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God, I felt like we've been around each other this whole time and we didn't realize like how alike we actually were, and that was just like the coolest fucking hangout, man. It's good to see you, bro.
you too, man. Yeah, when Scott asked me to do this, I was just like, it was funny because he asked me out of the blue, obviously, like he said, because I'm a Taproot fan and I could help, like, I guess add value to co-hosting, but I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, you have no idea, like, we fucking bonded that weekend, and like, there's funny stories from that weekend, but like you said, from my perspective, starting from when we played with Taproot in August last year, like, I I may have said hi to you and like interacted with you, like had a couple words, but like I think like we were kind of split. Like I think Darren spent a lot of time with you and Steve. You guys were like shooting those skits and stuff.
Yeah,
Like I spent a lot of time talking to Phil and Jared, and like I had a ton of family and friends at that show, so I was just like everywhere. Like we hardly interacted. So
right.
machine shop, we got to talk a little bit more, and like we kind of chatted about doing the show trade thing, and like having you guys come to Pittsburgh, whatever, a little bit, but it was just kind of like, that weekend was nuts. Like you guys were getting swarmed by,
Dude, I also
being in a
painted a
hotel.
house in between those three shows.
Are you serious?
Yes, yeah. Oh, totally. And I moved that weekend too. That was one of the most intense weekends like ever. Like 3 sold out shows back to back, move out of the house and paint a house.
Well, and like, where was Flint relative to everything else you were doing? Because it probably wasn't.
Hour and 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
That's not bad, really. Yeah.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
that's not what you want to be doing on show day. Trust me.
No, definitely.
No.
No, that was a great show in Pittsburgh. I'm glad I came up to that. That was
It was so much
the
fun,
whole night was.
man.
I got there too late for Threaded though. They did one song and they were done. I was like, shit, because I really wanted to
Dude,
see
they
them.
remind me of a mix. Like they have a little bit of a Deftones vibe,
Hmm.
but they also remind me of a band called Soft Cult. Which if you've never heard of that band, you guys should both check them out and listen to a song called Drain. And Jonathan, I think you'll probably agree that like it's the same vibe, same like kind of feel as what Thread. They were cool. I liked
Yeah.
them. They were very
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
that was my first time seeing them. Like, I had met them just from, asking them to join the show and, like getting them tickets and stuff like that, but had never seen them. And then one of the other guys is in a band called Crash Nebula that plays, or what is it, Crash Nebula that plays in the more the pop punk scene. I got to check them out and like connect the dots that he was also in Threaded, so that was cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed Threaded's set and would definitely put them on another show because they were good. I
I'd
like.
like to get them on this show and just talk to them. I mean I was following them before, on Instagram and stuff, and I think I might have talked to them. I don't know. I can't remember. You know how many bands I talk to in any given day or week. But I want to get them on the show just to learn more
Yeah,
about
definitely
them.
hit them up. I think more, they're I don't know how new they are, but I think, they could definitely more people need to know who they are. So,
Yeah, they're good. I listen to their album a lot. Their album's really good. There's stuff that's out there, as well as Guides. Guides has really good stuff out, and so does Riding with Killers. I'm just gonna plug everybody. Just go ahead and get it get it in there. I was gonna ask how you guys originally met, but you kind of covered that already.
Yeah.
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 Well, so that's what I wanted to say too. Like a couple days, so when, this was supposed to be what, Thursday night? So I don't know, it was like Wednesday night. I was like up in the middle of the night like I usually am and like needing to get really high to go back to sleep, and I'm like pondering like what were this conversation, and it wasn't until then that I connected dots, like the time that we had in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago and like how fucking special that was. I didn't realize until a couple of days ago that like your first like official Taproot experience was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow. That's actually incredibly true. That was the first show of all of that. Like I was excited about it too. Like when we drove through, I remember Macy and I were looking at it and we are like, dude, this place seems really fucking cool. Like I remember being very intrigued by Pittsburgh when I rolled through, and it's I feel like we were right about it. But that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
okay, so I was wondering if that like if you thought about that at all while you were here, like.
Where did you play? Where was the show?
The Craft House.
Ah, the Craft House. I like the Craft House. I think Guides is getting ready to play the Craft House. Is that true? With
Yeah, Simon Says,
yes, what Simon
It's
says.
gonna be a good fucking
May
show.
8th.
Mm-hmm.
Little
Yep.
plug.
Yep. The Craft House has gotten better and better since I started going there a couple years ago, and it seems like they upgrade and they upgrade and they upgrade. It just sounds it's a cool place, and they make badass Moscow mules. You know,
I'll
Yeah.
have to try that next
that's my
time.
go-to. That's my go-to.
Dude, speaking of May 8th, I got to plug our show too.
Yeah, do it.
And kind of a special one, man, because we're gonna be playing in Destin at Club LA, which is that was one of my old hometown venues with my old band from the coast. We would play Club LA, Soul Kitchen, Crest Live, or we would do Hard Rock, like the cafe, but we could usually bring a big crowd. And then we did House of Blues in New Orleans, and those were like our big stops. And it's gonna be like I haven't played there in like 6, 7 years, and really excited to come back there. And unfortunately, my buddy Gonzo passed away, and he and I were the ones who got that show together. And like he was one of the first guys that like ever really believed in me. Like when my old band was coming up, like he got me on tour with Fuel, with got me on a festival with like Hell Yeah and Drowning Pool and Seven Dust, and like Gonzo did a lot for me. And he was one of my really good friends in this industry. And we had been talking since I joined Taproot, and we were like, bro, we gotta make Club LA happen. We gotta figure it out. And then we went back and forth, and we had a couple attempts, and I finally sat down with Phil, and I was like, look, dude, like we gotta go do this. Like I'm telling you. And we finally made it happen. And like that was supposed to be me and Greg getting to hang back out together after like 5, 6 years being apart, because I left the coast to go find myself, and this is where I landed. Um, but it's gonna be it's gonna be a bittersweet one, but I'm pretty stoked. So
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm sorry, man.
yeah, dude, I was that one still it really sucks, because he was a real like Gonzo, Greg Sutton. Gonzo was his on-air name. So he was at 103.1 The Blaze, and then he was at 99 Rock, and he and John Robertson, a couple other folks, were the reason that Club LA really got built up. And it's a great club. Like I cannot say enough good things about the crew, the venue, the sound, the light, the everything. Like every show I've ever played at Club LA has been absolutely incredible. And this was it was gonna be cool to see him, man, because he really was one of the good ones. Like Greg really, really gave a shit about music, about the locals, about live music, and he's just a good dude. So it's definitely going to be a show for him. And I'm excited to rock in my neck of the woods, man. This will be our first time really going back down south. And this is the closest hometown I show I've gotten to do with Taproot. So it'll be cool. It'll be really cool.
I wanna go ahead and play DNA. That's one of the songs that I really connected with at the show in Pittsburgh. I really like
Hell
that
yeah.
song. I want to play that, and then when we come back, we'll talk about more about writing with Killers. We kind of are on the Taproot thing, because that's a big, it's big, but
For
so is
sure.
writing with Killers. Writing with Killers is huge. I think needs to be huger. I know that's not a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Huger. What is DNA?
Huge.
Tell the folks. I know what DNA is about, but tell the folks basically what DNA is about. We'll take a listen.
Well, it's actually really funny. I missed a call from, because I knew if I got on the phone with him, like we're gonna talk for an hour or two, just because it's been a minute. But the guy who that song is about, called me earlier, and I'm gonna get to see him in a couple weeks. This is the
Oh,
last I'll
nice.
talk about Taproot, but when we go out to play the whiskey,
Sure.
he's in the area, so I'll get to see him.
But
And
you can still talk about Taproot for the entire show. I'm
yeah.
just saying, we'll just focus on a little bit on.
But well, we're going back into, Taproot's got all, they're fine. They've got all the press coverage. I'm just kidding. But I will get to see him. But the song is about a really good buddy of mine. DNA is actually his initials.
Oh, okay.
Um and basically, so before I get into the nitty-gritty of it, I got to tell you my relationship with him. So I used to be much bigger. I used to weigh 250 pounds at 5'8", and that sucked. I did not hold it well. And he was the first person that ever, he approached me the right way. Like he approached me as a friend, as a brother, as a family member, as a mentor, as as a cheerleader, for lack of a better word. Like he was an amazing support. Like he said the right words to me, you know, and he didn't make me feel bad about my weight. Like he was, and this dude was like in the Navy, you know, I think he did some SEAL shit. I could be wrong, but he was like an underwater diver, and also dude's a fucking monster. Like he's like insane shape, like does all sorts of crazy events, like pushes his body to the limit, like kind of like a Zach Goggins type.
Yeah.
You know, if you're familiar with him or not,
He
his
can hold his
book
own,
is
basically.
absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, yeah, I wouldn't fucking fight him. Fuck that. Hell no, dude. Um, but he just, he was a real fucking friend to me. Like and he would motivate, he like, hey bro, like I hope you have a great day. Make good choices. Go train if you can. Like he motivated me the right way, and like that really helped start that weight loss journey that I've been so grateful for. And I'm basically down to 160 is where I'm resting at and maintaining, doing well, and like he kind of helped kickstart that, and I feel like I feel the best I've ever felt in my entire life because I got my nutrition in order, I got my physical health in order, and that's helped lead to mental clarity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it all
Sure, yeah.
interconnects
Full
with one
circle.
another, and it means a lot to me, like the fact that someone took enough of an interest to teach me things that impacted my life for the better. And in the midst of all that, he fell into alcoholism, like insanely bad. Like he ended up coming into a decent amount of money, from work, and then he got injured, like kind of a crazy fucking injury. Almost lost his foot. Like it was wild. And then he just kind of went nuts, man. Like I thought he was gonna die on more than one occasion. I thought he was going to die on the phone with me. I've had some of the most incoherent conversations, but I saw that as an opportunity for me to be there for him in a different way because he was there for me in my own way, and that's why
Sure.
I always answered the phone. That's why I always talked to him, and I was always like, "Dude, you're gonna get past this. You're gonna get better. Do what you need to do." But like I was never like, "Oh, I can't. You're too far gone. You're too. I
Yeah.
can't." Like it was like, "No, dude. Like I'm here. Like what's up?" And thank God he is now sober. He's got a son. He's got a wife. He's doing great out in California. And I asked his permission if I could write about that because it was wild. It was a wild roller coaster of a ride, and that's kind of why, like in the verses of the song, it sounds like that AM radio, or talking over a telephone. Like it's meant to be that psychotic conversation, like just a representation of those talks that we had. Like sometimes 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night or anywhere in between, so um it's just basically an ode to, resilience and sticking with it and getting better, and that there is a light at the end of that tunnel, and don't give up on your people that are struggling, you know
What was his reaction to the song once it was done?
he dug it. He was really stoked about it. You know I don't know. It was funny. He was kind of hesitant at first, because who wouldn't be?
Right, yeah.
Um, but it came together way too well. I was in Lansbury Lane Studios with Mark Papo engineering. Matt LaPlante was producing. Tim Krukowski and I did a lot of lyric writing together, and he did some singing, and Dave Coughlin did the drums, and Tim did the bass. But that song, like once we all just got in the room and I started talking about it, like it just all started, bleh, and we had some previous riffs from my older band that Cameron Alador had worked on, and I had done some work with him on it. And I was like, look, dude, like you said you're going to throw the song away, but I really liked what we were doing with it and where we were headed with it. Like, do you mind if I use it? I'm going to change a couple things. And thankfully got his blessing to do that. And so I mean, like that song is it's been around for a while, but I really enjoyed creating that one. And he was really stoked when it all came together, because we were having conversations while I was in studio, and we were talking back and forth, and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing, like we're doing your song today. And it was really cool. Like
Great song. It really is. It's one that I kind of I like the riffs. I like everything about it. I like the story behind it and everything. And that's why I kind of chose it for, Hostility's the big one. That's the big song. It's the, it's got the, we'll play that.
That's the radio hit.
Yeah, that's the hit. That's the hit for sure.
The current for sure,
But this is also a good song. This is DNA by Riding with Killers, and we'll talk more about Riding with Killers when we come back. Check it out. Awesome. That's good.
That's Matt LaPlante at the end of the song with the 12 easy steps. Like that was.
That's what I was gonna ask. Who did the voiceover, or was that some kind of sample?
Yeah, that was Matt. That was such a cool idea, man. Like It was, and actually, like, we just shot a music video for that song with Jason over at Revo Media in Grand Rapids. And we'll be putting that one out this summer, but we had a lot of awesome people come out. Like we did like an AA meeting sort of thing, and the Jazzy did like some special effects. Like it's really cool. Like I'm excited to put that video out, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Tell us a little bit about writing with Killers. I know we definitely touched on Taproot. We can keep touching on Taproot. We're allowed to do that. But
Keep
tell me
touching
about
Taproot, yes.
the idea. What the idea of writing with Killers, and just tell us all about writing with Killers.
So
The name in itself is badass. So I mean,
thank you. So there's definitely a story there. So basically I was in a band on the Gulf Coast called Cathercist, which then became Wildfire. Basically built a band in my parents' garage all the way up to touring on a national level. We had a song on the radio, like FM radio. We were starting to do the Danny Wimmer festivals. We were doing the thing. We had a few record labels check us out and fly out to see us, and we were building something really special, and that ended up coming to an end, and basically it got to the point of where I quit my own band, and I was like, all right, I've got to get out of here. I've got to go do something else. And I eventually made my way to Detroit, you know, which is where I essentially started the band. But before that, when I knew that I was quitting the band and I was going to move away, I ended up accepting a job to be an extra on the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt. They
nice.
filmed that in New Orleans, and I'm basically an hour, maybe a little less away from New Orleans. So I was like, I'll go do something like that. That sounds super fun. Never done that before, and ended up meeting a guy on set named Shane, and they didn't cover my tattoos up, and he was like, bro, why didn't they cover your tattoos? And I was like, I don't know, are they supposed to be covered? But I guess a movie back in the 80s, I guess fully sleeved people wasn't exactly period correct. Well, they missed me somehow, but he had a full sleeve and they had put makeup on his, it looked fucking awesome. It looked like his actual skin, like it was incredible. So we just started talking, and turns out we knew a lot of the same musicians around the New Orleans Gulf Coast area. And I was like, all right, this guy is super cool. Like, maybe I'll hang out with him another time. And so we ended up exchanging info. And he hit me up a little bit later, and he's like, hey man, like he's like, do you he's like, I know you said you're moving and stuff, but like maybe you need some pocket change, for when you move. Do you want to come do an out of town job with me? I'll pay you 2 grand for the week. Um, I'll pay for your hotel, your airfare, your food, like basically all expenses. And at the time I was like, $2,000 in a week? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
sure. You
Whatever.
know, and he was like, we're gonna wrap houseboats. And at the time I was like, what the fuck does that mean, wrap houseboats? But and then I didn't even think to ask him what that was. I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, we're going to Atlanta. And I was like, all right, sweet. And then he hits me up and he's like, hey bro, we're not flying anymore, we're gonna take a company vehicle. And I was like, all right, that's fine too. And then it goes, hey man, we're gonna take my vehicle, but we got to go to my parents' house in Hattiesburg, and we got to get their work truck because they had a bigger truck. And then I was like, all right, this is starting to seem kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, I've been to
And
Hattiesburg. It's definitely that's when it starts to get weird.
it's Hattiesburg, like, eesh. And so I was like, all right, this is this I wonder what's going on. So I ended up calling a mutual friend of ours named Matt. And I was like, hey man, is Shane cool? Or like, am I gonna end up scattered in like 6 trash bags on the highway to Atlanta or something? And he starts laughing his ass off, and he's like, bro, he's like, Shane is the coolest dude you'll ever meet. He's like, if that's what he says it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be. And I was like, all right, cool. Like that's a good endorsement. Like I knew Matt well enough, and I was like, all right, I trust him to steer me in the right direction. And we drove up, and he's like, yeah, I heard you checked up on me, and we were gonna,
Oh
joke
no.
around that you were in some sort of a drug ring and something that you couldn't get out of. And I was like, whatever. It was funny. We laughed about it, and then we got to where we were going, and bro, it was Lake Lanier, Georgia, which is 40 minutes north of Atlanta, and we basically lived on the dock of this beautiful lake. There was so Margaritaville had bought a plot of land up there. They bought the two houseboats, and we put Margaritaville graphic vinyl all the way around two boats in a week, mind you, in a week. And the way we had to do this, man, like these are not small ass boats. Like if you Google right now, Lake Lanier, Georgia, Margaritaville
Do that
houseboats,
actually.
the blue and the yellow one. Shane and I did that, just the two of us, in a fucking week, man. And like I'm talking, like we would apply the graphic, he would get it smoothed all down, and I would go with an X-Acto knife, and I would meticulously cut everything against the windows, against like we had to do a good job because I mean it's Margaritaville. Um, but it turned into one of the coolest weeks. Like the work was awesome. I had so much fun doing that. And like whenever we would get done with some work, like we would go fuck off. Like, dude, we went to a Braves game and they shut out the Phillies. Sorry. Um, and like 7-3. But I grew up with the Atlanta Braves, man. So, like the 93 or the early 90s Braves team, good Lord. Wow. Um,
This article
so
talks about these new boats, but you're not credited on here for the
Yeah, this is crazy.
repping it.
I
It's
don't see anything.
bullshit.
Oh, no, it's fine. I
I
mean,
need to
I
speak to the
like it was
manager.
it was it was it was
Yeah.
something C, I forget. Like he was an independent contractor, I think, that they subbed out, and but like it would probably be listed under his company's actual name.
There's a marina
Um
called Port of Indecision. That's probably where I should belong to. Port of Indecision. Anyway,
Excursion yachts.
I'm just looking at the thing. What are you looking at? What did you? I'm at actually on the resorts website, the Margaritaville Resorts.
if you go to the images, if you do Lake Lanier, Georgia,
Yeah.
Margaritaville houseboat, on the images, you'll see the yellow and the blue one. But
Okay.
anyway, man, like dude,
And
it
Yeah.
shark.
Oh wait. Is this it?
yes, there you go.
Yeah.
And then
That's
there's a
it.
blue one.
And the blue. Yeah, that's yeah. If you just tap images, they both show up like the very first. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're
dude.
credited for sure. I don't know about name by name, but yeah, it's a party yacht. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of party
dude.
yachts.
I read the
It
article.
was.
There was no credits on there. We're gonna have to
I'll
ask.
speak to the
Yeah, I'm
manager.
not
I'll
worried
have my
about
people
that,
get a hold of
man.
those people, and we'll get you on
I
there.
mean, dude, I got work in the Bahamas that I did for like 2 weeks straight that you can see from land, air, and sea that like my name's not on it, but I still got pictures and I was a part of it. So
I
that's
believe
good
you.
enough for
I
me.
believe you for sure.
Hey,
But so either way, like, like it turned out to be one of the coolest weeks I've had. Like I did a lot of hard work, and I'm very proud of that work that I did, and I'm very grateful to Shane because he held up every single end of the bargain. Like it was fun as shit, and I gained a friend for life. That dude's like my older brother. He's one of the coolest guys I've ever, like that. Like after that job, like I did another job. He took me to the fucking Bahamas. I didn't have to pay for shit. I got paid for being in the Bahamas. We got stranded out there for an extra week, which was true because of high winds. And
Hey, you got to take
dude,
advantage.
you can't go 300 feet up in the air on a swing stage with 25-mile-an-hour winds, or else someone is dying. So like we legitimately did get, like, we couldn't work for like 5 days, so we got to kind of vacational. It was so cool. Met the greatest people, but like I digress. Like so it was so funny on the drive back, just thinking back on this amazing, fantastic week that I just had, and this amazing friend that I just made, and I was like, man, I was so fucking paranoid. I thought I was going to be riding with killers, and I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
huh. And I just stopped, and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then I was like, all right, like I can acronym that RWK. And I was like, well, I can be creative with merch. I can do
All kinds of shit.
movie villains. I can do serial killers if I wanted to be taboo or whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I could do classic cars which I have done shirts like that, and they sell incredibly well because it doesn't just look like a band shirt. It's like I could wear this to a barbecue, I could wear this to a concert, whatever.
Nice, yeah.
But like it made my gears turn. I was like, it's not like it's this prolific subliminal name or whatever, but it does represent, a really awesome time in my life. And I liked the name. I was like, it's easy to pronounce, it's easy to remember.
And you have to
And
like think of your own story of what it might be about too. Like I had no
for
idea.
sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, like, and that's the other thing, like, dude, I'm a huge comic book nerd. Like I grew up with Batman and Spider-Man, and like those were my jams. And I could make it into a graphic novel one day, like who's to say, like I could do so many things with
Possibilities
that
are
name.
endless. Endless.
And the best part was when I started scouring the internet, I realized that there was never another entity on the face of the planet called Riding with Killers.
That's the best.
So,
Yeah, that helps.
it's like, all right, cool. I figured out a name that no one else has. Let's go. So, and then
Marketable as shit.
I went from there, man. So it's been a really, really fun ride. I've done a lot of growing. I'm still in the process of growing. Because I was never the singer in my old bands. I was just the guitar player, and I did backing vocals all the time. And I just kind of dove in and started
It
guessing.
works. It definitely works.
Started guessing.
It's definitely good shit for sure.
Thank you very much.
I don't even think I asked you guys when I had guides on. I don't even think I asked you guys how you came up with your name.
Huh.
Did I? Do you remember how you came up with it?
I do. Yeah, a long freaking time ago.
Yeah.
Ago.
Well, if it's a long story, we can have you back on and we can just talk about that only.
It's not a long story.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead.
Basically, it was we want one word, easy to pronounce, preferably one syllable, no more than two. I was like going through a time in my life where I was getting very much into like, more spiritual concepts and more mystical concepts. And I just like, it's kind of popped in my head, like guides, like, how about this? And everyone was just like, yeah, that's perfect. But then like, for me, it was like, it also reminded me of the Taproot song, Come Back. And like the lyric that refers to shit.
Come on.
Ruin the story here. Taylor, help me out. So I pray and wait for a sign from my guides. They
You
help
didn't need my help.
see as
See?
I say.
He knows
So
it.
like once I connected the dots there, I was like, all right, it's the perfect name. There's a Taproot reference there. It fits the requirements of what we were looking for, and it like connects to like what I'm going through personally at this point in my life. So as simple as that. But the problem was there at the time in 2014, there was another band called Guides in California who had already been more active than us. So at that point, it was a problem. At this point, I don't think they're active anymore. So
They probably were terrible anyway.
Oh
so-
yeah.
it's Guides official, and that's it. There's only one now.
I made when I see
Could be only one Highlander.
All caps. Guides all caps.
when I saw Darren at
They all
the
caps and authentic.
what was it, the Abominable Snow Jam at the
Yeah,
at the
God.
Club Cafe. That was awesome.
God.
I was interviewing him as Fraud Durst to the back, and Wes Borland comes down the steps. A guy dressed like Wes Borland. I mean, that guy pulls off Wes Borland like a son of a bitch. That was great.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
that's crazy.
I was asking Darren. I was like, so who's next? And he's like, guides. But it was so loud in there on the video. It sounds like he's saying guys. So every time I see him, I'm like, hey, it's the guy from Guys. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. Like it is really hard. Like anyone that asks, what's your band's name? And it's like
Guys.
Guides. Oh, the guys.
Yeah,
Guides.
the guys.
No, Guides. Guys, no.
No.
It's like shit. That's the only problem with it. Like you have to like hit
You
the
have to
hard D.
Guides.
Guides.
The hard D.
The hard D.
Everybody wants the hard
All
D.
about
Right?
the hard D.
Uh-oh. There it is. I knew there was going to be a spot that I could insert. I could insert that sound. And I definitely intended that pun for sure.
Well,
Definitely.
speaking of Taylor's weight loss journey, we have to talk about Shirtless New World.
I'm sorry, what?
Shirtless New World.
What is that?
This fucking stupid corner that I backed myself in.
Uh-oh.
You gotta follow. You have to deliver now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Don't worry. I'm
I still think it should be Pantsless New World.
Okay. I'm clueless as to what you guys are talking about. What's happening here?
So Taproot is playing Sick. I almost called it that again. Sick New World. What is it? April 27th, Saturday?
I saw that.
27th.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And that is effectively the biggest show of my career to date. Same day as, I mean, fucking Slipknot, Alice in Chains, The Perfect Circle, System of a Down, Kitty. Really excited about Kitty. I fucking love Kitty so much.
I saw that on your story. I was like, holy shit.
Dude, We Are Shadows is so sick.
Yeah,
I'm excited for their new record. It's like, it's
I
dope.
saw Kitty when I was like 12 in State College, like multiple times at the Crowbar, and the one time Disturbed opened for them, which was fucking insane because that place was like a 900 cap venue.
That's
and then like later on I saw Flaw and Andrew WK open for them. It was like an Ozfest off date. But I fucking love Kitty.
Dude, party hard.
Yeah. He lifted my friend up on his shoulder.
But dude, there's just and like, dude, Bring Me the Horizon, Spirit Box. I mean, like, there's like everybody, like Danny Elfman. Like, I'm really excited about that too. Like, I'm gonna remember like
Is Wes Borland playing with Danny Elfman?
I don't know. I'm not sure. That would be fucking tastic. I hope I get to shake his hand and just be like, thanks for orchestrating my childhood. Because, I mean, dude, like, it's so wild. Like, but it's so essentially, and like, I'm starting to kind of get noticed a bit more by Gibson, and I've been endorsed with them. Going on 2 years. I think I'm about to start my third year with them, actually. Wow, time flies. But like, I'm starting to have more cool conversations within the company about certain things, and it's really exciting. And I decided that maybe what I should do is get some really cool photos at Sick New World, and I'll pull a Slash. I used to want to be Slash, man. That was always my thing. Like, that's what I thought I was gonna be. Like, I never thought I would be a vocalist or anything. I was like, man, I'm just gonna be Slash, and I'm gonna play with that shirt sometimes, and then I'll have all the Gibson guitars ever, and like that was always what I envisioned myself becoming. And here we are. I'm saying, but I also get to be a guitar player with Taproot, so it's like I get back to my roots with that. So I basically have been calling it Shirtless New World, and I've been working on trying to get in ridiculous shape.
That was his motivation to get ripped and jacked, but it was for Shirtless New World. So
yeah. So I was like, and I'm like, man, like we're getting close.
In Pittsburgh, he was like, no carbs. No bullshit.
Yeah, I'm still on that, man.
Only
like,
salad. Only salad from now on, right?
No. Oh
Yeah, I had
man,
a buddy that
I'm kind
he
of
cut
doing a
carbs
keto
too.
thing, and
Yeah.
um, like I'm being really strict with like I've got 10 chicken wings waiting on me as soon as this
Oh
interview is
yeah.
over that
Yeah.
I'm gonna demolish. And
I had a buddy that did the no carbs thing. He might still be doing that. I don't know, but he lost a ton of weight when he was living in Florida. He was like, I don't want to go down here and be huge. Like nobody in Florida is. You're in Florida. On the beach and stuff. You can't. I don't know. He just had a big complex about it. But when he came back, he'd gained some weight back. But he showed me a picture of when he lived in Florida, and I didn't recognize him. Like he was. I can't remember what he got down to, but like he was unrecognizable. I wouldn't have known him walking down the street.
It is
yeah,
that
All he
beach
did was cut
body.
carbs.
It's all about that beach body.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, all it
dude.
was carbs. Just cut all the carbs out of his diet, and that's how he did it. And
Yep,
exercise.
I'm 4 or 5 pounds away from my goal, and so aside from the music
Juice
thing, like
cleanse.
I
Juice
own and
cleanse.
operate a painting business, and like I just finished a 4,000 square foot home. I'm working on a 4,700 square foot home, doing those back to back, and like I'm painting all the
That's
walls, the ceilings
interior,
by
right?
hand.
Or do
Oh
you
yeah,
you do exterior also?
I do all of it.
Yeah.
I can do
That's
whatever.
got to be a good business, though. I mean, a lot of money in
I
that.
love it, man. Like it keeps me active. I'm climbing fucking, especially like when I get to do tall, like cathedral ceilings and big buildings, like I have to climb ladders, I have to use my body, man. And it keeps me in great shape. And then when I go to the gym late at night, like I'm in overdrive and um,
You ever have to? You ever
I
have to scrape before you paint? You have to do that stuff. Like I paint like I'm in the oil and gas business, so like our wells are made of like steel tanks and things. So I have to
yeah.
scrape. I have to scrape, and I hate that's the worst part of it is scraping because if you don't scrape, the paint's not going to stay. Do you ever have to do that with walls? I don't know if it
I
works the
mean,
same way.
it depends. I mean, for sure, there's walls that like I have to because of bad ventilation or if there was water damage from previous leaks or whatever, like, and it's all kind of seeped through, like I'll have to cut out all that bad drywall, remud all that, do
Oh,
finish work, and then I do a lot of shit,
yeah,
man.
well, that's
But it's
lucrative
so
though.
funny 'cause like when I bid out houses, people like it's like I'm not just painting your house, I'm doing mud work, I'm doing the finish work, and like
Because if you
I'm
just paint
actually
it, it's not the paint's not going to look good for one thing, and it's not going to stay. Yeah.
no. So I mean there's a lot, and I mean like sheetrock replacement, I'll do that as well. Like even done electrical, cutting out boxes, capping off the wires, hitting them, but to make sure no electrical fires because we can't have that.
No, we cannot have any fires,
So
let alone electrical fires. We can't have any fires at all. No fires.
yeah.
Unless it's at a guide slash writing with killers show. That's where the
Yeah.
fire happens.
Yeah. No pyro though in the fun house.
No, no, we don't want to. We don't want to make it a
No,
great white
no.
show. We don't want
Fuck
to.
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
Dude, that
but
was scary. I saw Ramstein at Metropole in Pittsburgh back in like 2001, and they
Oh
like
my God, you lucky motherfucker.
dude, it was like $20, and they had like all their arena shit, and they were doing pyro, and they had like the water drums
yeah.
and shit, and like that was before that great white thing happened.
Did they pull out a massive dildo? Did the guy pull out a massive dildo and spray the crowd with a
No,
water hose?
no, because they got arrested in every city in
Yeah.
values 98 for that doing
I
that.
saw him on the.
Oh.
I saw him. Was it Family Values or something? I saw him in Huntington, West Virginia, like years ago, and yeah, the entire stage was on fire. Like everything was on fire, and then he just whips out this dildo, and like it was. I'm talking like a worm dildo, like a snake dildo, like just. And hosing the whole crowd down with this fucking. It was the.
It's on
It was.
tape. It's on the Family Values 98 cassette tape. I'm sure it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Like that that happens. And like there's a whole thing about him, like he can't get it to stop, so he's like karate
Yeah.
chopping it.
That's
And
what it was. Yep. Mm-hmm.
the police are like waiting like at the off the stage like to just like help them and
Was
put them
nuts.
in the car right
So
then.
much fire though. Yeah, so much fire. I just can't. I can't get how much fire was on that stage. Like you couldn't even see them. There was so much fire.
They were
I don't
fucking
know.
awesome. I mean, I was like,
It was a good show, though. I mean, Du Hast was like the number one song. It was that year. And it was just like, whoa.
I saw them on the Mutter album,
The
which was
who?
just
What's that translate to?
Mother.
Huh, okay, I just want to see if you knew. I don't know. Now, before we go any farther, I have this. Okay, when Guides was on, I think I was still doing the Wiener segment, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
We talked Wieners. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that anymore. I changed. I changed at the beginning of the year because I needed. Well, I needed a relogo. I changed the logo, and I
I was
didn't.
like, thank fucking God.
Yeah, I didn't own the last logo I had. It was just one of those things I got from the internet, and I just made it my logo. But I own this one now, and nobody else can get it. And I wanted to change some things. I put a website out, keepmealive.com, if you want to check it out. But I wanted to get rid of the wieners. I was so sick of talking about hot dogs. It was crazy. Like I know where you can get a hot dog in every freaking city around the world. I don't care anymore. Like I don't want to. I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I started doing landmarks because I'm a huge fan of Google Earth. I get on Google Earth a lot and just look at things. It's fascinating to me. You can learn a lot about a place on Google Earth and get on Street View and look at things. So I was like, why don't I just incorporate that into the show? That's very interesting. Yeah. So when I started doing this, I had a band from Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts, called Rose Lane, and we started talking about this, and I had found a couple things, on Google Earth, but it wasn't really that good. It was just the things that I could look up. But I was wanting something that I can't look up, something that only locals know about. Something.
Right.
Well, I didn't find. There's a statue in Worcester, Massachusetts, right in the middle of town. Basically it's a boy fucking a turtle, is what it is. But it's been there for like 100 years, and yeah, I mean, you just have to just look up Turtle Boy and look up.
White people,
if you just Google Turtle Boy, it'll come up. You don't even have to put Massachusetts.
I like turtles.
It's there. So they
too much.
Rose Lane pretty much started the trend of statues. There's been this trend of just weird statues that nobody really knows about. Like in Chicago, there's a shit fountain. It's probably my favorite one out of this whole segment I'm dead serious. Look up shit.
Can we get that confirmed?
It says shit fountain. It says shit fountain on the side of the. Just look up shit fountain. It'll come up. It's in Chicago. In Rotterdam, there's a freaking Santa Claus that supposedly it's a Christmas tree, but no, it's a butt plug. If you look up butt plug Santa on Google, and it'll come up. It's right there. I mean, you can't make these things up. Like Milan, Italy has a giant middle finger in the middle of town. Like, I mean, like I'm talking like Statue of Liberty size. Like
that means massive. Something different in Italian, though. I think
it doesn't matter. It's still giant middle finger. You know what I mean? Like that's terrific. We need that like in front of the White House or something. I don't know. So basically, it's things like that that I'm trying to look for. Like things that I can't find. But see, you're not originally from Detroit, though. You're originally from Gulfport. So yes. This kind of counts. I don't think I've done a band in Mississippi yet. So this counts as Mississippi. I can mark that off.
Yeah, technically, there you go.
Is there anything in Gulfport that I can't find on the internet that might be kind of odd that I might want to go down there and see in person? Or in Mississippi, I mean, it could be the entire state.
I really like the Project Lounge in Biloxi.
The Projects Lounge?
The Project Lounge.
Is it like in the projects?
Not really.
Area of the city?
It's just a really good dive bar that sells one of the best steak sandwiches and burgers ever.
Oh yeah? So I should go there.
It's not odd. It's fucking awesome.
No, but yeah, it doesn't have to be that like odd. I mean, but that's something that I would never be able to find. I mean, I'd be able to find it, but like I wouldn't know.
It's just a good. That's my spot when I go home.
Is it a music spot also? Do they also have bands and things? No. Just food and
no windows in the bar. Super tiny, dimly lit.
This is the best.
You'll see some wild shit 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, as well as be able to get one of the best meals you've ever had at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
What's the wildest shit you've ever seen there at 3 or 4 in the morning?
I can't disclose that.
Oh yes, you can. Come on, just one thing. One thing. Come on, give us one. Give us a good one. Give us a funny one.
I mean,
come on.
Mm,
On, you got it. He's thinking of one right now, and he's like, I can't tell him that. Yes, you can.
it's been a while, but I mean, I've seen
Okay.
plenty of fight there.
Well, yeah, yeah. Fights are always fun to watch, especially drunk fights where they can't even stand up, but they're
Oh
still
yeah,
like swinging at the air. You know, like, that's the best.
dude, for sure. But no, it's just
Also, the
it's a good spot.
I've
It's
never
it's
been to
the spot.
Mississippi, like ever. Anyway, like I've never. I don't even think I've traveled through it or flown over it. Like I've been to New Orleans. You know, I've flown to New Orleans, but
Yeah, I
was
mean
like
New
13, so I
Orleans.
didn't really like to go to New Orleans. You know, I didn't get to do like
Oh my
we were
God, you
walking
gotta
downtown, and my dad
go.
we were walking downtown, and you know, there's those clubs, there's adult only clubs or whatever, and my dad's like, don't look that way, and he's like shielding my face, and I'm like, come on, man, like
dude,
I'm 13, this
it's
is the
one of the
prime
coolest
time.
cities in the country. You have to go.
It's
Yeah,
it's the best. It
It's like
is.
it's like the only place you can go in the US and feel like you're in a foreign country, like you're in Europe or something.
in New Orleans, you mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, not in Gulfport.
It's
All the
just
friendships.
that city's alive. It's got a lot of spirit and
Yep.
a lot of jazz,
So
a
you've been
lot
there for
of
Mardi Gras, I
soul.
assume. Have you been there for
Oh,
Mardi
I was just there for Mardi. I mean, dude, I basically grew up in New Orleans, so basically my left eye, I've had like six reconstructive surgeries, and my
was gonna ask you
specialist
about
was
that,
in
but
New
I wasn't sure
Orleans.
if I should have.
I mean, you
You don't
know.
have you don't have to.
But basically, my specialist was over there. I had a lot of doctor visits over there at a young age, and mom would take me to the zoo because getting poked and prodded was super great as a young kid.
Yeah.
And we just spent a lot of time over there. And then as I got older and my band started expanding, we started playing New Orleans and played New Orleans a lot and basically became the House of Blues, like house local rock band for when bigger shows would come through because I could move, 200 tickets and um, like it just feels like home because it is.
Uh,
And
um, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just I will eventually move back there, and I would like to take my dying breath in New Orleans for sure.
I pulled up the site that I always go to find things for the segment, and Fishbone Alley in Gulfport.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun little downtown area that they've kind of cultivated the last couple of years.
A lot of
And that,
artwork there.
like they'll have like summertime concerts out there and little beer gardens, and I think they'll do like arts and crafts festivals, like and I'm not sure like currently what they do down there, but I know that they usually have really good turnouts, and it's a good little area that the coast has been needing back, because Katrina just completely kicked the crap out of us
Yeah.
like that, and that's
Were you down there
that's
for that? You were down there,
oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, like we didn't stay in state, like we evacuated and came back, but
Right. So
it was
not much. Right?
I mean, dude, it will always be before Katrina and after Katrina, man. Like always, like nothing really from my childhood is like looks the same or so it's like,
Yeah.
it was like I don't want to say I don't miss home, but it was kind of easy to detach a little bit because it's like there's not, you can't like I can't go drive by like like the Nickelback song. I can't go drive by my old high school and be like blah 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 because that's gone and just the music shop that I figured out who I was. Spent 20 years of my life under. That's gone. Like it's all different and.
There's a place in Detroit that I did find though because I wanted to prepare a little bit just in case. But in Detroit, there's a really interesting place called the Crow Manor. Have you heard of that? It's on
No.
it says it's on Trumbull Street. It's right near the casino. There's the Detroit casino or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
right around
collective for
Greenpoint.
like artists and
Oh wait,
musicians
no, no, no,
and
different spot.
things.
I think I know
It
what you're talking
looks really
about.
cool. I did the street view and kind of looked at it, and so it's a lot of very artistic, and it just looks like a cool place to hang
I'll
out.
have to go check it out, man.
Yeah.
I like to go. I like to skate downtown Detroit in the summertime on the weekends. Like that's
Like
how I like to get
rollerblade
my
or
skateboard.
skateboard? Okay.
Oh, it's
Like
not talking about rollerblade.
I'm not doing tricks and shit because
How
I
come?
need to not fuck up my hands. But like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
basically have a regular board with long board wheels set up, so I can do distance with the skateboard just because you got a little more control over that versus a long board. So. And I'll start at the DIA, the Detroit Institute of the Arts, which is one of my favorite museums ever, and I'll skate all the way down to the water, go back and forth, and then back up, stop in Greektown, grab like a small something to eat just to get some energy, or go grab a cup of coffee somewhere. It's a good afternoon.
When it's warm out, though, I assume, though, right?
Oh boy, yeah, yeah, I'm
All
ready
right.
for it.
What do you say we listen to Hostility?
Yeah,
Yeah. This is it's the first song that I heard when Jonathan and when I learned that this show was happening with you guys at Mr. Smalls, and I was like, this is awesome. Like this is the song. It's got to be the song, and it is. It turned out to be the song. But yeah, I think it needs to be known more. And as you said at the show, request it at your local radio station because this needs to be played everywhere. This is. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. What do you think, Jonathan? I'll let you
thank you.
say some things about it, Jonathan, if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the first song I ever heard from Rotting Killers. Like, because let's take it back, like over a little over a year ago. So when Taproot, let's touch back on Taproot. When Taproot like announced they were coming back, and I guess announced Taylor as part of the lineup coming back, it was like, well, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, because like we knew Mike wasn't going to be involved, and there had been other fill-in guys like at other points in time, throughout the years, and it wasn't those guys. So I was like, well, who's Taylor Roberts? So, you know, the fans like me started looking into that, and the first thing we come across is the Hostility video, right? And it's like, well, this is fucking awesome. Like, if this guy's gonna bring this energy to the Taproot lineup, then like, things are in good hands, which turned out to be true as well. So
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it's fucking huge. And like, I'll say, I don't know if I'll I don't know if I'll say it's the song because, and that's not a knock on anything, because I think there's, a number of songs on that record that can are gonna can hold their own as singles or radio songs. So there's more to come there, and I've had the pleasure of hearing a couple of the newer songs too. So
Really? Oh,
there's,
I want the pleasure of that.
there's even more to come. So I'll
Oh,
just use that a little bit too.
hell yeah. Do
Thank you.
you want to say what Hostility is about before we listen to it?
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, thank you both so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
This song this was a good one, man. James Laskew and I really tackled this one together. He was the bassist that recorded that, and we wrote a lot of the riffs together for this entire song. And I really love writing with James. I like he comes up with such amazing riffs and material, and he and I bounce off of each other so incredibly well. Um, and the music aspect of it just kind of really came together pretty quickly on this one. Um, and then vocally, like it's like lyrically, it's basically just about someone essentially being a bully and making you feel worthless, and getting to the point of where you feel like you are walking on eggshells with everything you do, because it's like, well, is this going to be the right thing? Is this going to make them happy? And it's like, you know at a certain point, you can't deal with it anymore, and you get tired of all the explosions and all the random outbursts of anger, and it's not conducive to a healthy, happy environment. And basically that song was deuces, and getting rid of that negativity and that person that just makes you feel that big.
Yeah.
And Dave Coughlin, he came up with the lyric, "You beg to be shown the door," and we were like, "Yo, that's amazing!" Like
Yeah.
we all really vibed off of that theme. We were all going through that in our own way. We all sat down in the basement and we were all writing, we were talking back and forth. Like it was a really awesome group effort, and it was very relevant to the time, and I think it's something that's relevant, even into to today. Like you got to get rid of that kind of negativity in your life if you want to move forward.
Sure. Yeah. I love that. I love hearing the what's behind a song. You can relate to lyrics. Everybody can relate to lyrics.
Oh
And
no,
like,
I mean, we were talking about a different song, but like we can talk about being bullied, and stuff as, younger people, and we were, but I think that subject is as relevant as ever, like still today, especially with social media and like kids getting a hold of that, like having that technology in their hands at younger ages, and like that just like facilitating all of that, like that behavior. And like I told Taylor, like this generation needs those anthems, like, and just like we did with Slipknot and Limp Bizkit or Korn or whoever, like this generation is gonna need their anthems too.
for sure. Yeah. What do you say we listen to it?
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Request this wherever you are, because this is awesome. This is a great song. Hostility by Riding with Killers off of the Full Circle album. It's awesome. Awesome.
It's the day, I can never tell. You see the world in red, and now it's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. You seem so calm, like there's nothing wrong, but underneath it all, you make me feel so small again. I feel so small again. Shove like you're off for blood, then you ask for love. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? You light the fuse, then you leave the room. All the air's consumed. You better run from me. You better run from me. Yeah, beg to be shown the door. No!
I can't take it either. I need to hear more Riding with Killers. I can't take it. Can't take it anymore. Excellent song.
Thank you so much.
That hook in there. I don't know where it is. I looked at the timing. I know you probably don't know it by the timing, but it's like at the 150 mark, where it's just you're coming back into the chorus again, and it's that stop, and then it's and then back in. That, like, you even did it at the show. I was like, that's freaking That, that's cool. Like, I didn't expect that at all. Yeah, because I saw you do it at the show. I was like, I need to go listen to that again, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, that's Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of doing that. You know, that's just an extra hook in there. That's just. I love stuff like that.
Matt and I had a lot of fun with that part. That one, like I think we did like an octave pedal on it, and we did a couple different takes of that slide up, and it was cool. We had a lot of fun with that one.
I should have marked it and just like I put it on my sound pad for something, you know, for a later show. Just that, you know, I might do that. With your permission, I might do that. You know. Anyway.
Give me my royalties.
Well, I don't know how much I have to offer, but you know. It is what it is. Speaking of not much to offer, I have like I mentioned earlier, I have a website now called acutemanialive.com, and it's, if you want to know some background information about me, there's a bio of me on there that I wrote, but you know, I wanted to make sure, you know, it said some things. I actually rewrote it, but I'm waiting for the guy that did the site to get back with me. But I'm going to change it and kind of update it a little bit. But there's a bio of the show on there, and there's a bio of me. And there's a spot, if you right below that says bonus content. You know? Bonus content. And you can subscribe to the show, and I can give you guessed it, bonus content. There you go. Yeah. You got it.
What's behind the bonus content?
Well, you have to get on the website and read about it. Yeah, you subscribe, and you know it's kind of like a Patreon. It's set up just like Patreon, but it's not Patreon. It's just through the website. But you get one of these nifty stickers. I know I gave you some stickers at the show, didn't I, Taylor? Yes. Before I share this, Jonathan, I left before I could talk to you in Pittsburgh at that show, and I left you a sticker on your merch table because there was nobody there. And it was one of these. It was our band sticker. Did you receive that? I put a couple business cards, and then I put this on your merch table. It's our band sticker.
I'll have to check the merch bins. I'm
Damn it! Sure. Somebody stole it. I think your girlfriend has it.
Ask merch girl Lainey.
Yeah, she might have taken it.
Yeah,
anyway,
not sure.
If you sign up, even for the lowest tier, gets this. It's the supporter sticker, and there's only one other person that has this, and I can't disclose who that is, but they're a huge supporter of the show, and they got one, just an honorary sticker. But there's different merch that you'll get that other people won't get. You know, just like not the ones that I give out. You know, I give out these stickers. I think Taylor has one of these. But just things like that. So it helps me. It only helps the show. It's not for me personally. Doesn't go to me personally for my personal endeavors. It's all for the show. Upgrades and travel expenses and things like that. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to throw that out there. I hate throwing it out there though, because this show is about you. You know, it's about the guest. It's not about me. You know, but I have to plug it.
It's also about you.
I even hate saying, "Hey, subscribe, hit like, and share." You know, the YouTube thing that you're supposed to say. I hate saying that, but I guess you have to. Dude, so damn it, if you haven't subscribed, Taylor, I'll see it.
Our whole life, like 10% of our job is playing music. The other 90% is selling tickets and promotion.
Yep, it is. It's true.
Being on social media.
I had a band on a couple of weeks ago called Sunbreak from Augusta, Georgia, and the drummer he said, I've never heard anybody, you know, describe it like this, but when you're in a band, you're a mobile T-shirt company, is what you are.
Yep,
it's part of it. Yeah,
basically,
you got to convince people to buy your stuff. You know. I mean, you also got to play good, but you got to convince people to buy your stuff.
Well, that's what convinces people to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't suck.
But there is that doucher that comes up to the merch table and just talks to you, but doesn't buy anything. at all. You know, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I will never do that. I'll
I'd
buy
be the
something.
guy, I'm sure.
I do need to Riding with Killers shirt. I did not purchase one at the show. I apologize for that.
I'm
That's on
sure
me.
we can get you one, man. No
That's on me.
worries.
I will buy it though because I know that helps. That
Well,
helps.
I will say, if you're considering going to see Riding with Killers, like tomorrow, right? You guys have a show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, go ahead.
headlining Max Bar in Lansing tomorrow night, man. It's gonna be a really good time. We're looking forward to it. And I'm gonna
Well,
try to get some sleep between now and then so I can actually be rested because I have been going and I have not stopped.
I know
And
that's
and not to bounce back to Taproot, but we have to. But Taproot's getting ready to go on a big tour, right?
Yeah, we're about getting ready to go out West Coast. We're gonna be playing at the Whiskey A Go Go in LA. We've got Pub Rock in Scottsdale, Sick New World in
And
Vegas.
I wanted to come to LA real bad. I was like trying really hard to make that
Let's
work.
go. Let's
Like,
go. I'll go with you.
it just fucking sucks that it's in the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday, and it's like if it was a weekend, I could just take a long weekend and pull that off. But like if it's because it's Wednesday, I'd have to take like a whole week just to be like out in LA to make it worth it. And it's like
Right.
it's just a bad time to have to take a whole.
No, for
whole time.
sure.
We'll
I
plan better
wanted
next
to
time.
do that though. I fucking love LA, and so like it would be the perfect reason to be out there.
Yeah, that would be a good trip. Yeah. So yeah. Well, get some rest. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah,
And
thank you for having me.
I definitely learned a lot more about you, and I know the viewers did also, and that's that's why I do the show. You know, I like to I don't like to delve deep into your lives. You know, like that's weird. I don't like to do that, but you know, whatever you're willing to tell us, you know. But now I know where Riding with Killers the name came from. Now I know. Like I didn't know that
Yes.
before, and I had certain things that I thought it might be about. You know, and you just with the word killers in there, you just many things go through your mind. You know, but I like
Good. It's making you think.
yes, yes. So what do you
Yeah.
what's the band have coming? You have new. I know. Jonathan kind of teased it for you, but when's new stuff come out? Do you have?
It's gonna be a minute. The first record's not even been out for 6 months yet, so and we're starting radio. So I mean, I'm gonna let a lot of that build for a little bit and
Sure,
keep
yeah.
booking shows. And we've got a festival appearance later this year at Havoc Fest with Kitty and Cold,
That's awesome.
Virtue, sorry, not Virtue. And we've got a headlining date at the Music Factory in Battle Creek coming in August. So, we've got a couple other irons in the fire, and we're just attacking radio right now. So we're building off of what we got, and we're keeping a couple things back. We've got a music video for DNA we're holding on to, and we've got a whole other record. So there's a time and place. A time
Yeah.
and place.
We'll come back to Pittsburgh for sure. Come to
For
West
sure.
Virginia. Come to West Virginia and play. We'd love to have you
Hey
here.
man, we'd love to come out that way. So we'll maybe we'll figure something out with guides and we'll get a little run together.
You don't have to
It's a
bring
little
them.
3-4
No, I'm
days.
kidding.
Yeah, fuck those guys. I
I'm
can stay in Pittsburgh.
Jeez.
no, we got to get them down here
Jeez.
too. We got to get the guys down here. We need some fraud Durst in our lives down here.
Everyone needs a little bit more fraud Durst, and
A
I'm
little,
totally
just
okay
a,
with
just a,
that.
just a,
I'm totally okay with that. Just
Well,
wait.
fellas, this
Just
was
wait.
super fun. I'm gonna go eat my dinner, which is
yeah.
super
Take care,
cool.
man. I appreciate you again. I will talk to you soon. Have fun on tour and have fun at your show tomorrow night.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you soon for sure.
Awesome seeing
Definitely
you,
come
man.
back. We'll
See you
see you.
soon.
Later.
I guess you and I will we'll shut the show down or
We'll
close
wrap it
the show
up.
out.
Co-host here.
Thanks for joining, man. I told him at the beginning before we went live. I was like, yeah, I got a buddy that really wanted to come up to the show in Pittsburgh. He had to work, and it just couldn't make it because he had a new job. I mean, I made this big story up, and I was like, but and he had to work tonight. He couldn't co-host with me, but if he gets a break, he said he'll definitely jump in. So you came right at the right time, 'cause we were talking all Taproot, and I had to kind of wait a minute, because he was talking. And then I assumed that he would see you. That's why I was like, because your name showed up first before your
Yeah,
camera.
because I had to like accept the fact that it, like asked me a couple questions and then it
Yeah.
popped up.
And then he couldn't see you, but I think it worked out. It worked out great. So
Yeah,
I think that was a cool. Thanks for doing this with me.
Oh,
And
and it dragged out the surprise because I texted him like Wednesday morning or something and was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you at some point this week." And
yeah,
I didn't give any like being more specific than that because I didn't want to give any clues. So then it got like pushed back, so it kind of like, you know,
he's still waiting. Probably
like,
he's probably still waiting, thinking, like, what's this surprise?
yeah, what's the real surprise here? That was bullshit.
It's not the stupid show I had to do, right?
Yeah, he just like I don't want to see that asshole. No, it was fun. Thanks for having me, man.
Sure.
When you asked, I was like, yes, absolutely. That this will be a fun thing to do. So I'm glad it
I
all
didn't get
worked.
to ask him, but I wanted to ask him if we could possibly get Taproot on at some point. But the more I think about it, I don't do this show for bands that have already excelled.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to interview them, and I would. I mean, I would love to have them on.
I mean, the thing is, too, they do their and not that they wouldn't do the interview, but they do their weekly Taproot Tuesday
Ah, Tap Tuesday.
live stream. So that's like,
Maybe they'll have me on there then.
yeah, well,
I
you
doubt
got you go on and participate in the Darren's been on. They had Darren on.
Well, yeah, but he's
One
got
point.
a thing he does though. I can't.
I was on with Darren at one point right before our show with them, like the week we played with them at the Craft House. So
Yeah.
they have special guests at different times.
I will tap into that and see when do they where do they when in Tuesdays. What
Yeah,
do they
it's
do
usually
that?
Tuesday night on Facebook, live stream. It's usually around like 9 o'clock or something like that.
Every Tuesday they do it, or just whenever they?
It's most Tuesdays, yeah. I
I'll
mean,
check it out.
especially when they're like have shows and stuff going on.
I'll just get on there and just attend every single one of them, and just be that guy that's always there and always chatting, and making his presence known. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like Facebook anyway, so
I'll fine, say hello.
yeah, something like that. So you guys go ahead and plug what you guys have coming out. I don't want to leave you,
Yeah, no, I'm happy to because we've got a lot a lot going on.
good shit.
May's massive for us. May 8th, we're playing the Craft House with Simon Says, who is one of my all-time favorite bands.
I'm gonna try to make it up to that one.
You should, because I don't know if you've seen any of the footage of them with their comeback, but they sound really good. They sound incredible. But one of my first show experiences was seeing them open for Stained in like 2000. So I was like 12 years old. Their energy was off the hook. Like the singer was crowd surfing the entire set. They were like jumping like 20 feet in the air, like in sync to all the like big like hits and stuff. And I was just like, holy shit, like I want to do that someday. So that one means a lot to me. I can't wait for that one.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks later, though, we're opening for Orgy and Cold, Jurgles.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, holy, like my man,
Yeah.
like which one do I go? Like I can't go to every show. I have shows in
No.
between and
No.
shows happening at the
You
end of
have to go to
April.
both of those.
But I'm gonna have to come to I
We're
gotta.
calling it the Family Values 24 May shows, like because it's like
It is the
you think about that. I know it's the like Orgy was one of the only bands out of that actually played Family Values, but like we're like we have these two big shows, and it's like if you're a new metal kid, like you're not going to miss either one
Don't
of
miss
these.
these.
So like
Now,
it's
here's I have a question.
$50 for two shows, and if you throw guides in there, it's four of your favorite bands.
I have a question that at this point you would be the only one to answer this. So when you're in a band like Guides and you're opening up for these big names, do you get to hang out and talk to them, or is it just are they kind of hidden until they play? Because I know that when IR opened for Memphis May Fire last year, they didn't really get to see them at all. You know, like they just were there, and then they.
It really depends on the band you're playing with.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Taproot was super accessible and just hanging out, and we
Yeah.
spent a ton of time with them, and that was super cool. So, and that's just how they are. But I mean, I've played, when I was in Identity X, we played with some other nationals that it wasn't really like that. So
Yeah.
just
It
depends
just
on
depends
who.
on how accessible they are, I guess. But
Yeah, and and like I don't hold that against anyone either because everyone
no.
has their own like routine and like rituals and like it's hard for me like I don't as a singer I don't really want to have to be like talking to a bunch of people before we have to play, but like March 22nd is a perfect example where like that's my show, like that's
Yeah.
so I have to make sure that like everything is running okay, and it's a long fucking day. So like, I get it. I get why like someone wouldn't want to be like hanging out with the opening bands. So,
And plus, you're in a bigger band. That could be a security issue potentially for the venue.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like Orgy was fucking huge. And like I know like it's Jay Gordon's the original member, but like those guys were on like TRL and stuff back in
Yeah.
like it's not like it's
I could see Darren doing like a TRL mashup somehow. I should ask him if he would like to do that. I could be Carson Daly or an entity of Carson
So
Daly.
he wanted you to actually, he wants you to come shoot some skits. He wants you to fill in as the cold singer.
That's the cool. Why? Like what? Okay. I mean, I'll do whatever.
'Cause
Anything like.
there's a bit of a resemblance there. So that's like,
Okay.
that
I
was
think it
it.
would be fun. I will do anything like that. I've never done anything like that before.
I think he has a bunch of slots to shoot in April. So I need to get you
Yeah.
guys hooked up and get that planned
I would
because
love to do that. I've never done anything like that before, and
we
I
want to
would.
use
I would.
that. I mean, well, that's part of the, part of the
The,
promotional material for
right.
the upcoming show. So yeah,
Awesome.
we got to get
Well, let me
that.
let me quit the live stream. If you have like 5 minutes, I have a couple other questions I don't want to talk about on the show.
Yeah,
Just personal
absolutely.
things.
Yeah,
But well, not like that. But you know what I mean, like just
yeah.
music wise. Anyway. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I don't have anybody scheduled until May 10th at this point. And that's Rats Will Feast from Finland, which was the very first band from another country that I had on eons ago. I think it was like, I have to go back and look. It was in the like top 20 first shows, like 1 through 20. It was in one of those numbers. It was back when I did the show on Facebook Live when I very first started, and it was awkward. I watched it and I was like, oh my god, that's what I did. But they have some big news, and they're going to come back on May the 10th. I think it's is it May the 10th? Hopefully it's not May the 12th, because May the 12th I have something to do.
You should get Simon Says on.
I should. I mean, yes. Tell them to get a hold of me. Tell their people to get a hold of my people. Yeah, May the 10th, and we don't have a time set yet, but they're like 6 hours ahead. I think Finland is. So it'll be during the day, I'm sure. April the 20th, 420, for those of you that celebrate, I will be at the Green Beacon Gallery with my friends and See You Next Tuesday. They're doing a little tour with a bunch of different bands and a bunch of different people. I don't even know who's going to be on at that date, but I'll be up at the Green Beacon. I've never been there before. That'd be my first trip to that area.
Either.
3 Leagues to Rome lives in Greensburg, that area, and I will be interviewing them on the 19th at their place, wherever they live. I've had them on before, and when we tried to have them play, and the sound wasn't very good for the entire interview. So I owe them a show, and I went and saw them at the Hard Rock a couple weeks ago, and so I will be in person with them on the 19th, and then at the gallery on the 20th. So that's what I have coming up. But I don't really have any guests scheduled. I mean, I have some people that are looking at times and things. So, we'll see. There's always, might even announce somebody tonight. I don't know. People get back to me all the time. You know how it goes. It's just crazy. Oh, one other thing before we go. I've been kind of thinking about doing a different podcast, but just an audio only and not live, just something that I can edit, and it's mainly about road rage because I need some therapy. I need somebody to vent to other than just my friends. You know, like I need to just talk about it, and it'll be like one other guest, you know, and just kind of whatever bothers us, pretty much pet peeves, but mainly road rage. And I came up with a name today, and I don't want to. I'll tell you after we quit the live stream, but what it is. But I came up with a name, and I'm going to make the logo here probably tonight. But that'll be starting soon. So if you ever have any road rage, Jonathan, you can do this show with me. It'll probably like 30 minutes.
Unfortunately, I don't get to drive enough. I live in the city, and
I'm sure you have pet peeves though of some sort though of any.
Oh, I have lots of pet peeves.
Everybody does. Yeah.
I can talk about my gripes. Lots of gripes.
That's mainly what it's going to be.
What grinds my gears. There's lots of that.
Yes, and see that's been taken, so I can't use that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I asked the AI. The AI helped me with this.
It's okay to consult the AI.
I mean, it's allowed. It's allowed. Anyway, but we'll go ahead and end the show. And thanks for joining me on this. And thanks to Taylor for doing the show. I do have we'll listen to a little bit of Pale Gold. I believe they're from California. I'd love to have them on the show and talk to them. But this song's called Disconnected. And if you have like 5 minutes, I'll talk to you here in a little bit.
Yep.
Everybody else, I will see you for sure on May 10th. But before that, just check the socials and stuff. I always post whenever I have a show. So I will talk to you then. Bye-bye.